Hey, we're back.
Hey,
Hey, hello. Welcome
good
back
to
to
be
another
back.
episode
Holy
of Carvers
crap.
and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with sculptors, carvers, and multi-talented artists from around the world. If you're a fan of the show and you like what we do, make sure you give us a like and a follow on the platform you're watching us on. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Let's meet the artists tonight, shall we, gentlemen? First, he's a legendary creature effects fabricator and monster maker. It's the foam fabber, Ted Haynes. Hey, Ted.
There he is.
How do you do?
Good to see you, Ted.
Good to be seen.
He's an artist and sculptor from Tucson, Arizona, and a Halloween Wars finalist. It's Matt Harper.
Matt.
Oh, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hey, happy Thursday. My name is Paul Dever. I'm an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. And with us tonight is an award-winning sculptor and illustrator with over 20 years in the special effects industry. His amazing work can be seen in District 9, Pacific Rim, and The Shape of Water. Tonight, we welcome David Meng.
Hey, David.
Welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We are so stoked to dive into all your stuff using a Shape of Water reference.
And I should mention I was only involved at the very beginning of Shape of Water, not the final thing at all. But
Did you choose the title? That's pretty cool.
That's the beginning.
I wrote it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, shoot, you're involved. Paul and I
You
were
were
involved.
part of it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. It's
Great
a good thing
move.
to be even tangentially involved with. So yeah.
That's right. Oh, I love
All right. So listen, here's the deal. We're going to throw you in the deep end. At any minute, your doorbell's going to ring. I have a squash being delivered, and we're going to. No, I'm kidding. No, what we're going to do tonight, as the show goes, we are going to take a carving challenge. But before we take our tonight's challenge, we'd like to look back on what we've done on the previous show, which was, if I'm not mistaken, an annoyed fantasy animal.
Annoying fantasy. Yeah.
And
So
I'm very annoyed jackalope.
Yeah, I went with annoyed jackalope. He only has one horn, and he's not happy about it. But man, I was kind of like, I had this really. If you guys remember, I had a really tall squash. I mean, it was like this thing, but even taller. So I wanted to be able to like utilize it, and I started carving the face really low. When we start doing these things, we're not using any reference. So it's like I just was doing an annoyed face. Is kind of how we started. And then I was like, oh, but I have all this great meat up here, and so I made it into ears, and now he became a jackalope. But anyway, lots of fun.
That's awesome.
Very nice, man. I love it. Super annoyed too. Well
He's
done.
not happy. Yeah, he's happy. He's not happy. Here's yours, Paul.
Oh, wow.
All right. So hear me out. It's a pig rat, right? Fantasy animal, pig rat.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all he is.
Oh, I've heard of him.
You guys have
Oh,
him in
yeah.
California? I'm glad we don't have him.
The dreaded pig bat.
The ever elusive pig rat.
Exactly.
Only comes out in leap year too,
Yeah. Only last month. So I love the fact that the ears look paper thin like a real pig's. I immediately saw that, and then the creases in his mouth make it look like he's. I mean, this is made out of squash, but it does look like really munchy and mushy in the corners.
There's a lot of tension.
Yeah. Pig rat.
That's
squashy pig rats.
That's what they like. Yeah.
That's how they look. That's
how they do.
Reference, but I think that's how they look. But yeah, hey Johnny, the ears were paper thin, and you guys know from carving when it gets paper thin, they slide all over the place. So I must have dropped them on the floor 10 times. They just kept slipping out of my hands. So I had to cut the cord at some point.
Now, were those part of the same pumpkin or squash or?
Yeah, I try not to use any other material other than the main squash. So I just cut them right off the back. So the back is. You could have, if I had a small enough head, it would have been a mask. There was no back to it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's look at Ted's, because I know Ted. We're gonna see a little better version of this, but this goes back. This was the aquatic, right?
Yeah, aquatic. I got it.
Angry aquatic, or what was it?
Yeah. What is it?
I had it.
Flustered underwater. Flustered aquatic. Yeah.
Thank you, Wheel. We will see that in a minute. But this was like the version that you made. This is all out of foam, and I think you have an update for us, right? Oh, hang on. Let me zoom in on you there.
Whoa, check them out.
Oh wow.
So it's getting a little bit further. Started in with some paint here, and I made a cute little base. So he's got pumpkin vines and roots holding him up.
Oh my gosh.
The blue
That's
won't be
dynamite.
part of it. It'll be a different base. So yeah,
That is
Started-
amazing.
started getting the paint done on
That's
him.
cool.
What
then
is
I've got-
the what
That's
is the
foam.
stem made out of?
What's what?
What is the stem made out of?
Hemp.
Wow.
So this is it's foam, but then I did latex and hemp.
Wow.
Oh, wow,
So it's
okay.
just-
Yeah, he's in California, so
Mhm.
got it.
Exactly. Yeah. Hemp is like an old school mold making material. And instead of burlap, they used to make molds with hemp.
Oh.
So here, I'll show you from a while back. It was a Furious Hillbilly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that
Oh.
came along fast, Ted.
Wow.
Yeah, there's the Furious Hillbilly.
Love
With
the
his
pipe
little,
too.
You made a lot of progress on those guys.
Yeah, and then
That's
he's got a comb over. So he's got a little. Maybe that's why he's cool. He's got a hemp comb over there.
So good.
I love all
I
the
love that.
warts too.
Yeah, the warts are ridiculously cool.
I love warty pumpkins. So
Yeah.
What are the warts made of?
those are just latex rubber that I used a syringe.
yeah.
Just dripped out the latex onto a plastic sheet and just let them dry, and I would just keep building them up for larger warts, and so there we go.
No big
Wow.
deal. Just making things
Yeah,
amazing.
You know, and then
Simple
I do
stuff.
have a fantasy
Everyone does
animal,
it.
but a fantasy animal from when we did Tom Woodruff's. It's the thing. It's just it takes so much longer to do these things in foam. The butternut squash I can get done the next day. So guess what I'm using? Butternut squash.
There it is.
So
All
but,
right.
yeah, no, the
Okay.
foam is really fun, and I like showing those. So enjoy.
Ted's back on our team. Hooray!
I'm back on Team Pumpkin,
Team squash.
Team Gourd.
Well,
Love it.
that's our carvings from our previous episode, and now we would like to introduce you to the fourth member of Carvers and Creator, the thing responsible for giving us our anxiety and our creative process for the episode. It is the wheel, the center spinner, and I think the thing I should probably do is give you the rundown of what we're going to be doing. So meet the wheel. There she
There
is.
it is.
Glorious.
Hi,
She's a very
Wheel.
glorious. Okay, so wheel, meet David, Wheel. Tonight, we're going to spin it 2 times. The first time we spin it will be the choice of character that we have to try to carve into a squash. And then the second spin will be the emotion or attribute to which we apply to the first spin. Our choices tonight are orc, skull, mythical, guest choice, so have one ready, Old West, giant, Viking, feline, baby, or hillbilly.
Oh boy.
Second spin will be terrified, exhausted, distinguished, guest choice once again, crazy, annoyed, excited, furious, sad, or flustered.
Okay.
What could go wrong?
Here
All right,
go.
we ready? It's a feline, Matt, the one you didn't want it to land on.
The absolute one I wanted the least. Oh my gosh.
Ah, man, betting's legal in Massachusetts. We should start betting on this. There we go. And our kitty cat is going to be furious. Oh. Cats aren't usually happy, so sort of a natural cat face, isn't it? They always look like they want
Yeah.
to kill you.
They do. Okay, I'm putting
All right.
it into the chat as we speak, so that way we at least
At least
Now
it sounds
committed.
cool. Furious feline.
Furious feline.
News at
Okay.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how's it going? Guess I made the big screen. Hey,
Yeah,
everybody.
I tell you, if people are carving at home, which a lot of them are, and or at least creating along with us, send me good vibes because I absolutely hated this one the minute I saw it.
Well, Matt, you know what might help? A beverage.
Well, let's do that.
Carving oil, if you will, which we like to do on the show, David, is we like to have a toast before we start any challenge. 1 for good luck, 2 because we need it, and 3 because craft beer has the coolest cans around. So we like to use a craft beer and, loosen up the joints a little. That's why we call it the
And we
oil.
care just a little less. So that also helps too.
Yeah, it takes the anxiety out of it. It comes back the next day when you go to finish it.
Right.
So, hey, who wants to start tonight?
Paul, how about you? Let's start with Paul.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, you know,
What
why
I
not?
have, this is a pretty cool can. I forget if I had it last time, so forgive me. I have Decadent Decapod. Did I have this last time?
No,
No.
that's new.
Oh, good.
Why not?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Look at that.
It's a fun can.
Yeah, it
It's,
is.
it's a meal in a can. I like that.
It really
Okay.
is. It's 1 pint,
Okay.
6.5 fluid ounces,
Oh,
canned with love by Bellflower Brewing in Portland, Maine.
oh, look at that. That looks. What kind of beer is it?
The kind in a can. It's a,
Okay.
I think it's an IPA.
Canned beer.
It is. It's a DDH India Pale Ale. I don't know what DDH. Double dry hopped.
Oh, look at that.
Nailed it. What is double dry hopped?
DDH. Yeah.
600.
Ted,
That's
you
what I'm
want to go next?
Yeah, from I think I've had this before on here though. Central Coast Brewing, right here in San Luis Obispo, is Cervantes amber
Yes.
lager.
Crazy.
Like,
Oh,
cool.
that looks good.
Love the artwork on their cans, and so yeah, there you go.
That's
All
cool
right.
looking artwork.
It
Amber
is.
lager.
Very good. David, I'll let you tell us what you're enjoying.
Oh, I have garbage trash coffee. It's terrible, but it's keeping me awake. So it's good enough.
You know,
Coffee's
I know.
good.
Look, any beverage works. You know, the joints get lubed up regardless of what you're having. So that's awesome. Well, we'll do a toast in a second. And I've got a it's called Papago Orange Blossom Ale. It's an Arizona brewery called Huss Brewing Company. So,
Nice.
and I know people used to say, you know, you can't have fruit in your beer, but you know, it's a wheat beer, and they always put like a wedge of, you know, in the what's the one that everyone always gets, the
Blue Moon.
Yeah, Blue Moon. So I'm like, you know, I already threw it in the can, so I'm okay. So that's what I'm having.
Hey, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I love Blue Moon.
I do too. I like wheat. So what the hell? Let's do a little toast.
Yes, gentlemen.
And
Cheers,
get on
David.
to David's great
David
stuff.
into carving. There we go.
Yeah. Delightful.
I'll take it.
Whew.
All right.
Wow.
Let's get rolling here.
Yeah,
David,
where to start? Where to start?
how does it all start? What got you into this profession?
Well, let's see. When I was like really little, I liked to draw and I wanted to be a book illustrator. But then I saw when I was 7 years old, we went to see the movie Labyrinth in the theater, and I came out of it and I was like, oh my God, this is all I ever want to do is make creatures and monsters and puppets and stuff. So
wow.
That's what got me into it. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's really it.
That's what does it. I mean, but you got specific with the movie, and usually somebody has the movie that sets them over the edge. Majority of people, it would be Star Wars.
Yeah.
Labyrinth. That's like in this. You know what's funny? I see Jim Henson in a lot of stuff you do. That whimsical, like just completely unique character. It's got such a great style to it.
I almost see like Ludo in this guy, even, you know, like
the horns and everything, and it's I mean, Jim Henson's probably like one of the top biggest influences in my life. So
cheers to that. I agree.
Yeah. And so did you run home after watching the movie and kind of start working on some drawings and sculpting, or what was the first thing you went and grabbed? A bunch of clay?
Remember, you know, I didn't start sculpting in clay until I was like about 13 or so. What I did when I was little was I've heard of like one other person who did this, and maybe other people do this, but like I made little things out of masking tape. Like sort of like paper mache almost, except it was kind of flexible, so you could kind of like sometimes you could sort of like make a puppet or something out of it, and so that's what I did until I was about 13, and the Michaels near our house started selling like latex, like liquid latex in a can, and then I got into like learning how to make a mold out of plaster of Paris and stuff, and that's what led me down into sculpting, I guess.
That's so funny. I remember when Michael sold that. It was a jar probably about the size of the squash, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like a white and blue can, and
that's when I had the best Halloween costumes, when I could mold and make things. And and then I realized how disgusting it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that it smells like fish until someone pointed it out to me.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, fish and 9 other things that don't smell good.
Yeah.
You guys didn't paint it all over your face and do like zombie makeups like I did?
Oh my! You really went the extra.
Oh, I
went the extra mile. Look at, and that's the back.
great piece.
So,
Yeah.
it's like your sculptures are so complete. Like, I would have to sit and like turn it and stare at it and be like, oh, I found something else that's cool. I found something else. Like, there isn't one thing that isn't completely detailed to the max. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys, we're blessed because we have a ton of pictures to show you of all of his stuff. Or not, we'll call it a fraction of his stuff because you need to go on his site and see a ton of other amazing art. But we got a good representation tonight, and I think what you'll see tonight is kind of a fair shake, but at the same time, it's nowhere near like Paul's point about all the detail. We're going to see a lot more detail, but I'd love to know just really quickly about this one that we're looking at now, because I mean, we saw a few shots earlier, and I'll back up a little bit here. So tell us about, like, now, what was your inspiration? I only because it's such a cool character, and you know, getting through kind of these couple of shots. What was your inspiration in making this thing?
I just like a long time ago, I saw, like, when I was in college, there was a like, you walk through like the central kind of like area where everyone passes through, and there was one time there was like these guys, I think they were like Hare Krishnas or something, and they had this like diorama of like a farmer with a cow's head about to like chop, you know, like slaughter like a cow, and they put like a person's face on the cow.
Okay.
And that always like really stuck with me. I thought, well, that's a pretty cool idea. So I thought, well, what if I do a centaur though? You know, like a centaur, but like based on a bull, and that's
okay.
kind of like, the inspiration behind that. And so I've done
Then a couple of them.
of these guys.
That is so cool.
It's amazing.
It's more bovine.
So are these,
Yeah.
are these one-off sculpts, or did you sculpt these and mold them, or?
They're all molded. Yeah. So this one's at my parents' house right now.
Did you ever sell them as kits or anything like that, or?
No, I never really. I mean, I've sold a couple things here and there, but I've never really gotten to model kit selling.
I was just curious, yeah, because it seems like so many guys that are in the industry, you know, we did that really early on, like 35 years ago and stuff. Everybody's doing kits, and then it kind of went away. But it sort of feels as we're getting older, it's like, yeah, let's start doing some kits, and you know, again, so like the old garage kits I feel are starting to come back a little bit.
Huh. Like not the Aurora, just like those kind of kits. We were talking about like
no, like
one-off.
I mean, like you know what David's done here. It's like, you know, doing, you know, sculpting it yourself, like in your garage shop, and molding it, casting it. We used to have great places in LA where you could take your kits to, and they would sell them in the store. You know, but now, you know, with Instagram and everything, it's so easy to be able to promote it there. Yeah, we had Kitcraft and Kitcraft, and then what was the other one on in Burbank? Taylor White's store, Creature Features. So that was like a actual.
Both are gone now, right? I think
They're both gone, unfortunately. It's a great piece.
A lot of folks chiming in here on your stuff, David. So we're going to get a lot more of this, and I think we've got a few here to show that are. I have a lot of questions about, because this is stuff that I remember like being taught, like the prehistoric stuff. So tell us about a few of these. I know they have specific names that I'm not schooled enough to remember, but
well, this is a prehistoric relative of an elephant called a Platybalodon. And I always love these things because I love the prehistoric elephants that have really bizarre like skull formations. Because because you know, it's like the weirder it is, the better. So this one, I think nowadays they think that it had more of like an elephant like trunk and less of like this paddle that I have here. But I sculpted this before I learned about that. But I prefer this look over like a more normal trunk.
Me too.
Yeah. And who says that? Who says that's the way?
I thought they're wrong. You're right.
Yeah, no,
Speaking of hardcore,
they're
you're going to
totally
tell me that, like, if a hippopotamus didn't exist and then you look at a hippopotamus skull, you're going to tell me that's what a hippopotamus looks like?
yeah, no, they look like a heavy metal album cover or something.
Yes,
Yes.
every time.
And you see one in life, and you're kind of disappointed because it's like kind of
That could-
cute, you know.
That could simply just be a modern day animal in Australia or something like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah.
A platypusosaurus.
David, I always like to ask other artists too, and I, like for the benefit of folks watching and younger people that want to get into this stuff.
Mhm.
What was your background in art? I mean, obviously you said you were an artist when you were a kid and started creating and making, but then like through junior high and high school and even college years, like what kind of fostered or built your abilities up, or where did your schooling go?
So I always just drew and sculpted and did art. I had my parents I was able to get some art lessons when I was a little younger, but not for sculpting. It was always for drawing and stuff. And I went to college for art. I went to the University of Michigan.
Okay.
And later on, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh for a little bit.
Okay.
And yeah, and I also took Dick Smith's makeup course as well.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As many of us did.
Yeah.
Did you find the schooling helpful? I mean, you're already like a talented artist, so I mean, what did that do as far as like pushing your abilities? Like, was it helpful or not?
I think it helped me. I mean, like Dick Smith was great because I took that course when he was still around, and like it really helped me with like wrinkles and stuff like that. And but I don't know, like animals and figures and stuff. I sort of, that stuff I just had to figure out on my own, more or less.
Right. So just a lot of self exploration as far as like textures and technique and things like that.
Yeah, and anatomy especially, because I was really scared to. I mean, we sculpted like in college we did figure sculpting and stuff like that, but it's all, you're looking at a model and everything.
Right.
But like learning how to sculpt something kind of just from reference or from your imagination, or I mean just from photo reference and from your imagination was something I kind of had to figure out. And the thing I was always tripped me up was like sculpting like a dynamic figure, and so that's something I kind of had to figure out how to do.
Yeah, and just being immersed in it in a school, I'm sure you're around people and folks that can help you with just all of that fun stuff that just you end up doing all the work that gets into you being able to do it. I love this one, as a painted version, and then I remember seeing this one. And it's just like I want this as a pet. I don't know how that's, I don't know if that's possible, but this one just looks like the dopiest bastard ever. Which is, in a good way. I mean that in the most positive way.
Yeah, you don't want to offend him.
Yeah, right.
He looks like a beautiful sculpture, but I mean, you just want to pet him and wrestle him and just like have him LARP all over you or something, whatever he's gonna do.
This one I'm hoping to cast this one in silicone so I can like punch little hairs into it and everything. So just make it like totally realistic.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. What's the scale of that one? I think it's kind of hard to tell.
Like this one's like maybe this
Head size? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
okay.
it's pet size.
Oh,
it's about the size of like a dog's head or something. So yeah.
Okay.
So is there a medium, or not a medium, but like when you do cast it up in silicone, is there something that you like to work in? What's your choice material?
I like using dragon skin from silicone. Or sorry, from Smooth On. Sorry.
Smooth On, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I used to be afraid of trying to use platinum because I was always told it won't set up. You just like say sulfur around it and it won't set up or something. Right. But I've been finding dragon skin is pretty good. It's like I hadn't had too much trouble with it. It's always cured whenever I used it. So
we used a lot of that on a project I did a couple of years ago, and it turned out really nice.
Hmm.
We
Nice
talked.
one.
We got to see a few of your animals and well, animal/hybrid humans. But then tell us about like. So we've got a few shots of this fella.
Yeah.
I love this.
Illustrator, right?
Yep.
Amazing. I just look the look on his face. You want to give him a big hug.
You
Tell
can
us
see
about
the
that.
Henson influence in it too, right?
Oh, the eyes.
It's
Yeah.
true.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagination
the
of the
thing
pictures.
I got from Henson really is just trying to make the focus on the character and personality of something, you
Yeah.
know, more. I mean, like a satyr isn't like a new idea or anything, but you know, it's just like trying to make a new character, and that's where the invention lies, you know.
Yeah, your version.
Yeah.
It's your take of that. It's amazing. Did you punch all the hair in this one? Is this
Yeah,
like
I did. I did everything on it. I mean, I bought the eyes from a company called Tech Optic Eyes for this one. I
They're
used
still
more-
around?
What's that? Oh,
They're
yeah.
still around?
I mean,
I had no
Elvis,
idea.
I haven't ordered them from a while in a while, but they were around when I
Okay.
did this guy a couple years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm using Force Steel Studios now. I mean, I'll use both, but you know, yeah.
I love
And
it.
No, it's I just aside from the animals that you've done, and they're very realistic, but I mean the just the whimsical quality you've got, you know, and it's just so great. I mean, there's so much character, and it's just
oh,
you know,
thank
and you do a thing I like to do too with the mouth, where it's just kind of like, you know,
yeah.
there's an asymmetry to everything. You know, nothing's
Mhm.
perfect. So yeah, it's just such great character.
Yeah, asymmetry is really really helpful to bring life into faces because it's just a head, you know, and it's not. It's just, I mean, you can move the neck a little bit, but what you do with the mouth and the eyes really, you know, gives it life.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does.
we
It
get-
makes it super unique.
We get a nice shout out from the Shiflett brothers.
Hey.
We love you guys.
Gentlemen.
They love
You
you
guys,
Dave.
thanks for watching.
Yeah, I think I spend way too much time on their forum. I hate to say
Yeah.
it. It's another amazing sculpt. But
It's-
yeah, thank you
It's
guys.
not the only thing I want to stay on Facebook for anymore nowadays.
Seriously.
That's about it. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah.
We're back to animals. So do you use? I mean, I guess from a reference perspective, I know you have to go way back to the the grade school dinosaur books and stuff like that. But some of these guys are just, but they have their own personality. They have you in them, in my opinion. Like certainly the elephant ancestor. And this guy too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do that. The thing is, I'm not like a paleontologist or a zoologist or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know that much. I mean, I have to do a lot of research for these things. But this one, there are some good fossil remains of these creatures' shells, but there's good skull reference too. But there's not a lot on like what the actual face looked like. You know, all the reconstructions you see look pretty different from each other. So I just looked at real armadillos, you know, and sloths and stuff like that to
Okay.
and I don't know, like if I try to put my own personality into it and everything, because
Yeah.
I don't like things looking too clinical or technical.
Right.
Oh,
But
really
you made a good point too when you said if a couple people do it, they all look different.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing we're doing with the wheel. We all have the same challenge, but you're not going to see the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We have the same idea. I mean, you have the armature, right, which is the shell and the skeleton, but
Yeah, I mean that much you can't deviate from, but
Right.
exactly.
it's the soft tissue and everything is where you can do your own thing.
What if he had feathers? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. You never know. It's always your creation. Now, this buddy,
Love
Gluttony.
this.
So we're gonna get into some of these because we have multiple pictures of this one, but I know that you can see this on your site, on your website, but also on your Instagram as well. This guy is just crazy cool. Yeah,
I feel like this shows his illustration side. Like this
does.
looks so like comic book, the perfect exaggeration of features, and it looks like something straight out of a comic book.
Yeah, and the detail. Like Paul talked about detail. I mean,
That's
my
Oh,
God.
you thought he had an ass crack? Think again.
Yeah. Anything he eats, it stays inside.
Yeah. No matter how he eats it, it goes back in. No wonder he's a glutton. And then the sausage fingers. I think we're gonna see that in a second. But look at the face. That thing is. Oh my god. Now
I mean, there's a little bit of Ren and Snippy in there too,
Oh yeah.
Like the what do you call them? The Lummox,
the Lummox. Oh my god, yeah. That's totally it. Okay. I love how you're just as affected by pop culture as we are. With
totally.
Oh my god, I can't get away from it. I love it. But the paint job on this, and folks, Dave paints all these things too. So tell us, I mean, how do you? This is ridiculously cool. I mean, like even the yellow tones in there. Like, tell us about that process.
Well, this is I used translucent resin to start out with. It was a Smoothcast 57D from Smooth On, which you get from Reynolds out here, and it's so I started out with this one was sort of like a tan, fleshy kind of color, and then I just did layers of passes of different kinds of colors like blue, purple, yellow, pink, just doing like modeling all over it.
Okay.
And even though it's like I covered it up, I probably covered up most of the translucency, but there's just a little bit coming through in some areas.
Yeah. It definitely works.
You can see it.
So the question I've got to ask is, where does this character come from? What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, a long time ago, I wanted to do the actually in college, I started doing the 7 Deadly Sins as a school project then.
Oh, okay.
And it's just something I've just been visiting and revisiting over years. And I designed these a long time ago, but like I finally kind of started sculpting them. And this is what I think maybe the first one I finished. So he's got sausage fingers because he eats.
Yeah.
Right.
The grill marks. I love the grill marks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Well, before we jump off of him, I mean, this to me, I mean, the fact that you thought through every possible detail, how he's eating at both ends and just continuing to get bigger and more gluttonous is just brilliant. I love that little detail. But this one here, I recall, this is last year you made.
Yeah, for Monsterpalooza.
That's great.
So good. Oh my gosh. What's the scale of this one, David?
Oh, gosh. It's big. I think it's like, I want to say 30 inches by 30 inches by 35 or something like that. It's like.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, the wings help make it look big too. So.
Yeah, but the personality you have in this guy, I would run out of the room like immediately seeing this guy, and then some progress shots here, which are just equally amazing.
Yeah, I want to point out with this picture, if you zoom in, like if you look at the chest, he's got like a face there. And the idea there too is like dragons are a pretty hard thing to design that you design in a way that hasn't already been done a lot of times already. So I was trying to do something different with this guy, and so I was just thinking like medieval carvings where they have like devil faces in the chest and in the knees and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was trying to do with this guy to make it a little different from most dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
And you get a little bit more sense of the scale here as he's getting fleshed out, and just the uniqueness of your dragon. I think that's what you bring to the table every time is it's your style being pushed into a known creature in some cases, but it just is certainly like unique. You've never seen this before. This is so good.
And just really dynamic too. I mean, because it looks like a character that could exist. It's like some of the other animals that you've done. Obviously, your anatomy's great, and it's a matter of stretching bones. It's anatomy that we all recognize. There's a rib cage and shoulders and legs and all that, but you've made it a believable way. It's really neat. It's really dynamic character.
Thanks. Yeah,
favorite of a lot of people, actually. A lot of comments based on this one.
Yeah. Everyone likes this one. Everyone likes it.
You know what? I gotta say, this is something I've been wondering about. Like, that's what I did for my centerpiece for Monsterpalooza last year, and I kind of feel like, other than the dragon, I don't really know what to do that kind of will get that kind of response. Because the dragon, the subject matter already kind of has it like baked in, like, something that a lot of people kind of like already.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And I don't know what else kind of has that kind of appeal. Like the closest thing I can think of is like a werewolf or something like that.
Werewolves are great.
Zombies,
That's a lot of
werewolves.
fur. That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do a hairless werewolf. That would probably get a lot of response.
Oh yeah. How about a hybrid of, like, the hairless cats that look so freaky? Make
like a hairless guinea pig.
Oh yeah.
hairless, with those same wrinkles, and that would just, like, it'd be look like crawled right out of hell. Oh, yeah. What do I know? But I mean, it's a great question, because I mean, like, how do you? I guess it's more an artist question. Like, how do you one up what you did the year before that was a home run? I mean, is that your thought? I mean,
I'll be honest. It's like a good cheap way to impress people is the wings. Just like
Right.
which, by the way, are fabricated and they're made out of like tissue paper with not tissue paper. Yeah, tissue paper with Elmer's glue.
Oh, great.
Painted over it. So, because I was like wondering, like, how am I going to do this? Because I did not want to sculpt and mold and cast that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just like the thin tissue that you'd use, like in like gift type stuff that you would.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Actually, like all the stuff for the wings, I just got from like Staples.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Little did you know, folks, you can just go to Staples and get.
You can make dragons from Staples stuff.
I think with your imagination and your ability to design something that really you don't see that, you see it in your mind, and a lot of your illustration, shines on that. I think more, the bird variety. A lot of the bird stuff you do is crazy.
It is, and the movement, like almost like Simon Lee, like you have a unique ability to have that kind of. You want to hold it down because it's about to jump off the table. Honestly. Anyway.
Well, thank you. I mean, I love Simon's work. He's a friend of mine. So.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So his stuff is so dynamic. It's
it's just like, how is that thing not moving? Grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. I don't think there's any shortage of ideas coming out of your head.
No.
I'm pretty sure by accident you could find the next big thing.
Just spin the wheel, and that'll give them the.
Get it going.
That's what will be.
That'll be a Monsterpalooza prompt. Yeah.
They'll be like, I can't believe I had to sculpt a confused hillbilly.
Not as much punch as a dragon. Yeah, but confused hillbilly might be
one dynamic hillbilly, I tell you.
Yeah, that'd be like a Kubler kind of thing to bring a giant, confused hillbilly.
Exactly.
Yeah. This, speaking of giant, I mean, this is ridiculous. I love this. I love this one. Look at the flesh of the dead whale. It's so good.
Just the weight of it around the neck is just
the weight. Yeah, the weight of it on him. It's like it's pouring over his shoulders. It's so.
And
crazy.
this is clay, right? This
is a Chavant.
It's so clean. I thought it was ZBrush at first.
Oh,
it's so clean. I can't. It's amazing. It makes me want to quit. That's how I know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to inspire you, Paul. It's supposed to inspire you.
It does later on.
Him to quit.
It's been suitably censored for YouTube.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you didn't sculpt it blurry?
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot. It just is blurry.
It's just blurry. Yes. Mitch Hedberg reference. Very good.
The idea for this, there's a painting by a guy named Zdeněk Burian, who's this Czech painter who did a bunch of dinosaur stuff. He's kind of like Charles R. Knight, but he did a painting of an African native guy who's holding like a pelican that he caught, and he's holding it over his shoulder, and he's holding it by the upper bill. And so that kind of gave me the idea to do like a giant, but he's holding, how do you make something look like a giant, without reference? So I thought, okay, well, it may be called a whale, because that's like
Yeah.
the biggest thing you can think of.
Right.
And I thought, like, well, would it be a blue whale? Because the jaws are kind of like a pelican, it's like skinny on top and big on the bottom. But I thought, no, it's better if it's like a sperm whale because they got this long, thin lower jaw.
Grab it. Yeah, you can grab it.
So that was the idea for this guy. And what I wish I had done, I don't have the painted version here, but what I wish I had done was, I didn't have time. I did this for an exhibition when I was at Weta. But what I wish I had time to do was like do like a tattoo of like a squid, like on his chest or something.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like, because like squid are like natural enemies with sperm whales. So that would have been a cool idea, I think.
Dynamite.
I've got a tattoo of a squid on my arm.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And he's literally, he could.
Oh, awesome.
He's so big he could probably carry a sperm whale.
And he's inking. He's squirting ink in the water. Don't tell my mom I have this tattoo. But
Hey Matt, I know
That's awesome.
you're going to go through a lot of pictures here too, but can we touch on real quick, David, your time at Weta? Like, what were you doing there and the shows that you were doing? Like, what did you have your hands in? What?
Oh,
project?
yeah. Well, I started out, my first things I did there was to help finish some scannable maquettes for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, wow.
So at first, all I was, for like, I think 2 or 3 months, I was just putting little cracks in things, elbows and stuff like that. And then one day, I think they ran out of things for me to do. So Richard Taylor, he said, "Oh, do you want to do like a maquette for this creature that we need in Kong?" It was like those like bat things.
Yeah.
You don't really see him in the movie, but so I did this little head. It's not what ended up getting picked, but he liked it, and then he just like let me do design from then on.
That's great.
So yeah,
and you were down in New Zealand. You were at Weta.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Not remotely working with those guys.
No. Yeah,
How long did you spend at Weta?
I was there for 7.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that accounts for the New Zealand accent that you have now. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised you can understand anything I'm saying.
Well, cheers, mate.
So by the way, since tonight is what's the feline we're doing?
Furious.
Furious. So let's just take this as reference. I mean, we're
more disgruntled, really.
He's a little bit, yeah. He was furious. Now he's just like angry.
Yeah, dyspeptic.
Exactly.
I see like a very furious old grandmothery feline in that. Like,
totally
disappointed at the grandson kind of look.
Yeah. Like, really, you just ran your bike through the I get that same look.
He said for real too many times.
Yeah. He called his grandma the bro.
Yeah.
So
yeah, another example. Turn that thing
more
around
detail.
and all the world.
This is behind that.
Yep, it's like a little dead baby bird behind it, because I wanted it to kind of like make you think of like Grimm's fairy tales and things like that.
Yeah. So this is just behind the scenes here, and again, it's that like Dan Kaczynski just kind of thinking of all of those millions of the story behind everything, and not just being okay with the beginning of it, which is great inspiration.
Seeing a theme here. Great artists like think it through.
They do, and they just like they're never okay with just one form. You gotta.
Or you
think the back.
Yeah, we have bowling pins and spinning wheels. That's what we're.
That's right.
It's such a great piece. I really appreciate the character. I mean, just how many people about just doing the tongue sticking out, and it just immediately just adds character. And it's just the flesh and the weight to everything that you're sculpting, even the hair, the way that's styled in, it's just really great. I mean, it's got to be just years of studying. I mean, have you been like going to zoos and how have you studied the animals that you like to sculpt?
Like on my laptop, I have like thousands and thousands of pictures of animals that I just grabbed off the internet. And yeah, we'll go to the zoo and stuff. But like, I don't know. Like I'll just like cycle through these photos and just looking at the details and textures and stuff. And That's
So you're definitely you're a reference person. You love a lot of
Yeah.
reference. When you're
I
doing
love
something.
especially for textures and details and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. But the weight of the skin, I think, is still always boggles my mind. Is how you pulled that up.
I'm
We
curious
did have,
too, like how
we
much.
did have one question about this really quick. Sorry,
Oh,
what
yeah.
was the story behind this poor baby back there? So the dead bird, because we have some people, some animal lovers here that was afraid of that.
Oh, I mean, it's just something I wanted to put there to make you realize there's something dark going on. It's not
That's just a normal kitty.
yeah.
It's
Just
the
something
cafe
morbid to
experience.
put back there, and if nothing else, just suggest the story or something.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so we've got and I hate to say it, we got 15 minutes, and I know we've got another many pictures more. So we get to more of your fit, and there's so much to cover, and I implore all of you to go check out David's sites and just be ogle like we do and be in awe of this. Paul, I'll have to say this is another one that just kind of almost reminiscent of a Henson thing to me. I just see
I'm a face guy, and Matt, you're
Yeah.
a face guy. Ted, you're a face guy. These, I just am completely gonna rip you off one day and try to sculpt something similar to this.
just
I
like that.
love these kinds of faces. It reminds me of the Genesis videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Totally, yeah.
those
That
guys.
stuff, I would
Spitting
dream
image.
about those faces. Those puppets was
Same.
so cool.
Yeah,
And this, you nailed it. I mean, but you've put your own spin on it. Like you can see the influence in it, but it's yours all the way, and it is nightmare provoking kind of.
I was going to ask you, David, because it's like so we're throwing out all the like you were obviously inspired by Henson and maybe this a little bit like the spitting image type characters.
yeah, absolutely.
I
Spitting
see in
image.
this too like a little bit of like Thomas Fluharty, the caricaturist.
Oh,
it goes
right,
like
yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about being compared or your work being, it for me it would be a good thing. It's like because we're all taking inspiration from other places, but then we're our creativity to it. How do you feel about us going, oh, that looks very kind of this or that?
Oh no, I'm happy, but it's those are my influences. So it's like if it reminds you of that, then I'm glad.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's like a basketball player. Somebody's like, "Oh, you remind me of Michael Jordan." You know what I mean?
It's
you're
like,
just
yeah,
as good.
that's great. Yeah. If you can play as good as Michael Jordan, then fine. Or if you can sculpt as good as, whatever, something that came out of Henson or Spitting Image or whatever. But yeah, it's such a beautiful piece. Just the
when we talk to those guys, we're going to be like, this is very David Meng like. You know that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's
yeah.
Play off each other. I love it.
So now, Dave, did you mold that piece too?
Yeah. I molded it. I mean, I think that giant with the whale that was molded by folks at Weta. I don't have the finished one here, and then that frog with the girl that was also molded and cast by people at Weta. But everything else is, that was molded and cast at Weta. But I sculpted and painted it. But everything else is molded and cast by me.
Wow.
Are you a fan of molding and casting? Because
no,
I don't know who likes it. Glutton for Punishment, I think, liked it.
No, it's funny.
I mean, I'm more interested to do a good job as I get older, and so I just want to do a good job of it, and I'm interested in doing it just for the satisfaction of doing it well, I guess. But I'm not particularly good at it.
I feel like every young person I talk to, though, that wants to get into this, I say learn how to make, sculpt it, paint it, but not only mold it, make the eyes, punch the hair, learn everything. Because if all of a sudden you're only a sculptor, you're only a painter, and it's like you're getting laid off, and it's like I can go over in the mold shop and tamp fiberglass or pour silicone and or help make eyes or whatever like that. Just to be really well rounded is invaluable in LA these days, or in the film industry itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Onto a couple illustrations, and this one kind of strikes hard. I mean, this is something do you ever start with an illustration and go right into a sculpt, or is it ever the other direction?
I always start with like a little scribble, that just nobody would understand except me. I don't usually do a nice drawing before I start a sculpt, but sometimes I do, or sometimes I'll have a drawing that I did and I'll turn it into a sculpt later on. But I'll always start with at least some kind of scribble, like a doodle.
Okay.
And then a wall of reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's what I'm saying, right there. That would be the next big thing. Like, that right there is amazing.
That kind of looks like a Country Bear Jamboree on acid.
Yes.
Exactly.
Or like a grown-up pig rat,
Prehistoric Country Bear Jamboree.
a bear rat. No, it's so good, man. Like and that's what, yay big, about 16, 18 inches tall.
Yeah, it's about like this.
Okay.
This big.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, it's based on a Japanese folklore thing called a baku. It's like it's sort of like an elephant-like creature, but sometimes they draw it kind of like a bear with an elephant trunk, which is people think that it was based on tapirs.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see that tapered part in there. Yeah.
Didn't they just make a movie recently about the Baku?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they did.
Hmm.
Because it's almost like a mythical creature that lives in the woods, right?
Yeah, something like it eats bad dreams or something like that.
Yes,
And,
yes,
Oh.
they did.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Baku. It was called a mythical creature that eats bad dreams.
That was it. I love so other people have been now motivated to go do more maquettes, but I do like the pose here is very relaxed and very interesting because it's like, again, dynamic in so many ways. So again, we're going to keep heaping all kinds of praise on you just because we're just always for myself, I'm always enamored with like the dynamic nature that you pull into these things, and it just starts as one big letter. So we got a few more, and we're running out of time. But again, back to the faces.
And
an amazing paint work too.
oh, thank you. This one is far from finished. It still needs a costume. I don't think it's gonna have hair because the costume will cover like the head.
Right.
So,
and who needs hair? Hair's
hair's for suckers.
Hair's for suckers. Exactly. I love it. It. Speaking of no hair,
weepy as hell. Love it. So creepy.
Yeah. So okay, random question, but like from do you get folks who just say, "Hey, make something for me. I don't care what it is. Just pull it out of your brain." Or are these commissions or typically?
Oh no.
Most
of these are just personal projects, really. I'm just always trying to make stuff. I don't know. I have no idea how to, price these things. It'd be good if I could sell them. I just can't.
Spoken like a true artist.
Yep.
I don't know.
You gotta get it out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to make them. It's just like, and I just want to make as many as I can. And while I can, like while I have time and while the materials are available and while I can.
How are you finding the time between your actual film work that you're doing and design work and creating? Because all of this stuff is independent from your film work, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
everything that we're seeing today.
It's real tough. It's like if I'm working in a shop or something, then I just have essentially no time to, or really energy to do anything. But I do a lot of design work, like illustration stuff from home. So that makes it easier to find time, like at night and stuff.
Do you find yourself, are you in the shops more or are you at home more working?
I tend to be at home more, but recently I've been in the shop more often.
What shops are you at?
Most recently I was at Jim Henson's Creature Shop. So,
Nice.
Yeah. So I got to work at the place that I always wanted to.
That started it all.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow, what a dream come true.
Good for you.
How was getting that phone call?
Awesome. It was amazing. It actually took a year before I got in there. So
Mm.
yeah, because I sent my stuff through, and they kind of thought they had something for me, but it ended up falling through, and it took another year before I finally was able to get a job there. So
Okay.
so it's been a couple years now. So with them. So
Wow. Well,
Congratulations,
dude.
man.
That's insane. That's like a childhood for pretty much anybody who's ever made a creature or drawing to be sitting at that workshop. That's amazing.
yeah, no, it's been awesome. Great place to work, great people. So it's
Yeah, we get a few more illustrations, and then we got we're about 5 minutes out, but I do want to rifle through a couple more of these amazing creatures that
It's
are
hard
just.
to rifle through them though. Everyone you want to
I know.
stop.
I want to talk
Tell
about
me
one.
about it. Tell me about
now. Yeah.
Do you ever think about doing like a gallery show? You have so much stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. That would be cool if that happened. I've had pieces in galleries every so often, like the Conjoined Show and the Hive Gallery out here.
Mm.
Your own exhibition, I think that would be a pretty popular draw. I mean, you have so much stuff that is just so far out there in your own, and yeah, I would go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I live on the East Coast.
By the way, are you back in Monsterpalooza this year?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so we'll see you there, which is
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's gonna be.
Look forward to it.
We'll all be there. It'll be a big.
Away, yeah. We're all right. Well, we'll rendezvous and toast to a nice.
Well, that's some carving oil.
There we go. More carving oil, or just coffee, whatever we want.
I've always got a cooler next to me at Monsterpalooza.
This is true. I can back that
It's
up.
true. I was there.
With soda, of course.
Yeah.
And water. To hydrate.
Yeah.
So good. So many great creatures, and I love how these just flow out of your mind. And then another one of your. I think this was different.
It's the same one, I think, right?
Yeah,
It's
same one.
the same one. So it's a better view, and you can see all the detail.
Yeah, you can see everything. And then, of course,
I love that. This is so Henson-y that it belongs in a Henson movie.
It is. I don't know which one,
Oh,
but one of them. The next Labyrinth.
It could be like a creature in like a dark version of Fraggle Rock.
Oh no, Dark Crystal 2 Down Under.
Oh. Ooh. We're gonna get that movie made.
Yeah.
Now you're pitching ideas, right, Matt?
That's right. Hey,
now you're a writer.
You guys can steal it. I don't need any credit. That's fine.
Just based on David's sculptures.
Yeah.
And the illustrations. Look at that.
So cool.
This is the Monkey King, which is a pretty popular character in Chinese folklore. And I just wanted to do my version because they do a production of this every week, apparently. But I wanted to do my own version of it.
It's beautiful, man. So good.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hey, you said East Coast. We got way East Coast.
Yeah, she had a one up.
Yeah. Thanks, Elian. I really appreciate that.
And then we got others that say they would also come out to your show as well. Yeah, it's we got everyone chiming in today. You're certainly we everyone loves your stuff, David.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Including us.
Yes. Well, it starts with us. So we love you the most.
This piece is fantastic.
Yes, this was what I was kind of referring to, like a sculpted version of that. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
This is this is one piece I want to do as a sculpture. I just don't know how to do the feathers yet. I have to figure that out. But I don't know how to punch feathers and stuff. But
I think if you just rip them off of a real bird and glue them onto a sculpture, it might work all right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a thing too. It's I don't know what kind of feathers to use for something like this because it had to be real small and stuff.
Yeah. But David, have you heard? Because you're in the LA area, you've got to look up a place called. Hold on, I have to articulate. Mother Pluckers. That's the name of the place. Mother Pluckers, and it's all feathers. So they sell feathers to the industry that are doing either stage theater productions or film. I've been there tons of times, and you can get all kinds of little feathers, anywhere from ostrich to
chicken.
Thank you so much. All different colors, and We can talk later, but I mean, I've done a lot of hand laying of feathers and punching of feathers and things like that, and it's it's
thank you,
great.
thank you. That's really useful information to me. That's kind of the one thing stopping me from making this guy.
You heard it here first, folks.
It
It's
really
gonna
is,
happen.
exactly.
Mother pluckers.
Mother pluckers.
These
Yeah,
mother
check them out.
pluckers told me where to get the feathers.
Pluckers.
Oh, I love it. And unfortunately, we are out of time. And this is where you can find David. David, other than your Patreon and your Instagram, is there other places? If you just type in Google, I know that you get to your website.
I think David Meng Artworks is also the name of my website, my personal website. And I have a blog which I don't attend to anymore, but it's just davidmengart.blogspot.com. But yeah, the Patreon and Instagram is where I am most times now. Most days now is Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
So make sure to go and support a film artist on Patreon, because it sounds like there's another strike coming up, maybe. So
That's just a contract.
There we go again. But hey, Monsterpalooza is coming no matter what. So come visit us there, and we'll hang out. And of course, you can always find Paul and I and Ted here. All the socials, all this good stuff here. But dude, thank you. What a fun. I mean, it went by too fast. It always does, right? I mean,
it does. It really does. We can't.
Matt, what do we always say? What do we always say?
The fastest hour on the internet, something like that.
Well, there's that, but it's like you got to come back, David.
You got to come back. That's it. You got to come back. David, we want you back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It
was great hanging out today. Fantastic hanging out with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Great to meet you, David.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for everyone who watched today too out there.
Yeah, a ton of folks watch it, and what's fun too is there's a bunch who will watch it after the fact too. But what's cool too, David, if we do get you back, we're going to have you grab a squash and carve along with us, and then Paul and I can really hang it up and be like, never mind,
yes, completely scarred.
Yeah, forever.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Thanks again. This was an honor, and you're great guy to talk to. You're just a world of knowledge and inspiration for a lot of people, apparently, because everybody loves you chiming in.
Yeah.
You are appreciated, sir.
We'll go on.
Oh, please. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for another episode of Carvers and Creators. Again, I'd like to thank David and Ted and Matt. So we will see you guys again next week with another Carvers and Creators. So good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Come on.
Thanks.